Well, let's get that show rolling here. Heavenly Father, please help us to make right decisions for the people of Oklahoma County. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Paul.
Here.
Yeah.
Here.
Brady.
Here.
Johnston.
Here.
Brumman. Here.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from January 17th, regular meeting. Support. And the special meeting, supported by Carolyn. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. What is that mean? Meeting.
Yeah, just, this one was.
Oh, there we go, Brady, way to go. I brought my extra smart brain with me today. Moving on to public comment, we're gonna start with Mr. Turek online, because he especially requested to have access. So, Mr. Turek, whenever you're,
I am here if you can hear me.
we can hear you fine.
Great. My name is Robert Turek. I live in Harrisville Township, and I'm here speaking today as a public citizen, not as any representative of any group or board I might sit on. I see on your agenda that Target Development of Alpena has approached you about making a presentation. Not surprising. I'm seeing something in the Alpena at least twice, Alpena News at least twice a week about their proposed building plans. I would ask you if you could ask Target Alpena to give you some information about some things that you might not know about, but I'll let you know. The ACCOA had a market study done a couple of years ago to determine the feasibility of building 44 units in Lincoln, 44 unit housing. And the market study came back as saying, no, they would not recommend that. And they had 4 different reasons. They said the population had decreased. The population was supposed to continue decreasing. The available renting units in the market study area were not filled, so the available renting units were vacant. And most importantly, there was no jobs within 30 minutes. Now, none of those things have changed in the last couple of years since that study has been done. But something else you might also be interested in is that the state of Michigan and the United States, the county of Alcona has twice as many homes per capita as the state of Michigan and the United States as a whole. We have 238% more homes. We have more homes in Alcona County than there are citizens. I would say that abundance of those homes could be second homes, but they could be available to be rented if the rent that they could command was sufficient. It isn't, because mainly there is not enough jobs and there's not enough income. But the people who own those homes still want to keep those homes. Why? Because they like Alcona County the way it is. And what I see, and other people see, is this regional initiative. I don't remember asking if I was in favor of that. I don't remember putting that to a vote. I think that's similar to what's gone on with the 3-person commission that's in charge of overruling the local zoning boards. Do you see any similarity to that? Somebody in Lansing or some governmental or non-governmental agency taking control as opposed to us? So I would ask yourselves, I have noticed the commissioners over the last couple of years have declined to take an interest in or act upon some issues because they considered them partisan or political. I can't imagine that you don't consider this a highly political or controversial decision. Have you talked to any of your constituents? I think they might feel the same way. I would ask you that if you do not actively oppose this issue, at least don't aid and abet this or assist in this effort put forth that they're going to present to you. So I would ask you to consider that humbly. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Turek. Anybody in-house? Public comment? Oh, no, okay, then we'll move on to presentations. Colonial Life Yeah.
However, it's hard to tell them.
I did explain earlier to a couple people, I went down to visit your other commissioner, Dan Cothier, and he got me sick with this valley fever from Arizona. It's not contagious, but that's why I'm coughing, just so you know. I'm not sure how long I'm gonna get through, that's why the lead sponsor with me, because I last for a minute and then I started a coughing fit. So I blame Dan for this, by the way, just so you know. I've talked to you guys in the past, I used to work for Aflac. I've talked to you guys in the past about trying to get, say, better enrollment conditions, better one-on-one with the employees to get them the best product possible. Well, since then, but some changes, I've switched over, obviously, to Full Life for two reasons. One, Aflac and there's a couple people here can attest to the billing issues that we've had. I don't even know how to explain it. It was just miserable. It's just saying nothing worked, couldn't get anything fixed. I got to the point where I was avoiding her phone calls because I knew it was just gonna be my butt getting chewed on the other end. And it's like, it just wasn't fun anymore. So I'm like, you know what, I'm done with this. Found another company that's fantastic with billing. But also the product that he's gonna go, I might get through it. I don't know. The product that he's gonna go.
Just let me take it.
Yeah, let him go.
Before
I'm
you
ready to- Yeah, that's Brad. That's
Do you
my.
guys ever get a night where you can't sleep or you bought you lots of insurance stuff? All right, like Bucky said, we're all around here. Okay. And we migrated to Colonial Life. It's something that's just more good. Okay, now. I looked at, your present coverage and employees you have versus participation is what we in the VB experts would say is your account is extremely underpenetrated. In other words, you don't have enough employees participating in your current program, okay? For whatever reason, all right? So for your fit and my benefit as well, I want to talk about what voluntary benefits is supposed to do. So you guys have a clear understanding of this. When a medical event takes place, whether it's a heart attack, stroke, coma, paralysis, childbirth, stitches, sprained ankle, whatever that weird thing he caught out there playing golf in the Canadian Commission, whatever. See, that's my, gotcha. When you seek medical care, your health insurance pays the doctor and hospital bills. It's there to pay the healthcare providers, okay? We don't do that. We operate completely independent of any and all other insurance. Now, what our policies are designed to do, the idea behind voluntary benefits, whether it's through Aflac, whether it's through Colonial Life or some other carrier, and we're the two biggest ones, right? It is designed so that when a medical event takes place, the policies they have from us is designed to pay cash directly to the insured and family. It's tax-free dollars that they use at their disposal or their discretion. Why do we do that? There's three big reasons. Number one, health insurance doesn't pay for everything like it used to. When I was a kid, I would do something stupid, clean up in the emergency room, tap on the lock, because I wasn't born this ugly. Okay, mommy and daddy would pull out the Blue Shield card, and I would get patched up. And then a couple months later, I'd go back and visit. They knew my name. It was crazy. But there are out of pockets that you have to pay for when you see the doctors and hospitals today. The deductibles, co-pays, out-of-network charges about reasonable customers, and these are thousands of dollars. The best health insurance in the country doesn't pay for anything like it used to. And we as consumers are going to be responsible for more of the bill. Most families don't have the money set aside to cover these expenses. Where does that come from? Us. Secondarily, our everyday bills don't go away when we get sick and we get hurt. First of the month, mortgage payments, car payments, rent, utilities, cell phones, groceries, daycare, the whole 9 yards. All of those things have to be paid for, and our creditors don't care if we had a heart attack, a stroke, an accident, we got hurt in the job, our kids did whatever. Those bills have to be paid. And if we have to take time off work to care for a spouse or child that's sick or hurts, even the best disability doesn't get you 100% of your wages. Now, I wasn't briefed before they brought me in for this because Bucky was ill, as far as what your current health insurance and traditional benefits look like. So I kind of put together something for you that's more generic. All right. So the thing about this is that this is also a form of income replacement. Now, do you guys have group disability, short-term to long-term available to your employees? You know?
No, some, but not all, okay. I didn't give you guys, I thought maybe you would, but I didn't put my DI in here, but I have that as well, disability, that's, you know. So the idea behind this is that every employee is different. We all have different medical backgrounds, histories, lifestyles, stages in life, and so forth. So the idea behind Colonial Life is we help your employees enroll in plans that are designed so that when a medical event takes place, it strikes them or a family member, they have the appropriate coverages so that their financial security is not compromised. They don't have to dip into savings, liquid assets, take on loans, file bankruptcy, live off of credit cards. They can worry about what's important, getting better. And that's what we do. And nobody does that better than Colonial Life. Period. Aflac's good, okay? But we're just better. Now, because if they were, I'd still be with them. Now, the idea behind this is I offer a menu of benefits that people can pick and choose from. I've got disability, short term, anywhere from a 3-month to a 12-month benefit period. Who chooses that? The employee. It's up to them. I have an accident plan that covers mom, dad, and kids 24/7 on and off the job. We have by far the best accident plan in the industry today, bar none. Okay, I have a cancer policy. Awesome. I have a plan for heart attack, strokes, coma paralysis. It's a critical illness policy. For guys like me in my 50s, the more mileage you have, the check engine light goes off, it's like the car, all right, so it's designed for that. To give you an idea, your current plan with Aflac pays out $7,500 maximum. Our starts $5,000, the employees can choose up to $100,000. And anywhere in between, so there's a lot more that we can do, okay? Life insurance, got it, it's great, Nurse Scratch doesn't chase you out with a syringe and the bottles. If they want additional life insurance, they can have it, simplified issue as well. I do have a dental plan. You guys have dental insurance?
Yes.
That I'm gonna worry about. Stick with what you got, okay? You have vision insurance?
Yeah.
Cool, not gonna worry about, okay? So anyhow, just by going through some of this stuff, what we're gonna be able to do is offer, keep your Aflac here if you want, that's fine. When your employees see our stuff, and they see what the rates are, they'll roll in ours. Just letting you know. It's a much more gooder plan, costs less, pays out easy. Our technology is world class. Our payroll system isn't broken. Our enrollment system isn't broken. All of our stuff is cutting edge and it's awesome. It works, it's seamless, it's where you just press a button, you can reconcile the invoice, do everything, go on auto pay. It takes less, it probably take more time to sign on than it would do what you have to do from an administrative perspective. When you get new employees that are benefit eligible, call us, we're here. Obviously, you know these guys that are local, all right? And it's pretty neat. Am I forgetting anything? And we're better looking, just kidding.
They got the same good looking
Yeah,
guy they had
I know.
before, so I mean.
So from that regard, implementation, obviously I like to eat. So when we do this stuff, I like to do, you're gonna have the sheriff's department, you're gonna have all the different departments and the counties and so forth. I like to feed everybody. I come in, I bring in pizzas, salads, breakfast, whatever it is. We sit down, we break bread and explain the benefits, how they work, what they cost. Okay, then we give them a pat on the head, say, take this home, talk to your spouse or significant others, consult your tea lead reader, your tarot cards, I don't care, whatever it is, right? And then we'll meet with them in a couple of days. For those folks that want to enroll, we sit down and we help them choose plans that make sense and that's affordable, okay? The example I would use for that is if you got a 22-year-old employee that's drinking beer and chasing girls, they don't need a plan for heart attacks and strokes, like an old guy like me. He needs an accident plan because he's one of them happen, okay? Because young men do silly things. If we have folks that want to have a family, I got an awesome, what I call it, the baby making package. Because you can take your time off of work, right? But a lot of people are delaying that because they just can't afford the out of pockets. I can take care of that. That's not an issue. So we'll be able to pay the ladies when they're off or their husbands as well. Yeah, it's all confusing there, but you know. But it's a really, sorry, it's a really neat thing. And there's just so much stuff that we have. There are going to be some instances where it might be in the employee's best interest because of what we call building benefit riders and so forth to keep their existing coverage without. And that's fine. We all know their stuff inside.
Honestly, I don't, going from memory, I think there only might be 2 that I would say should stay. And I don't know if they're still here. I know one of them, and it was, Ed Franklin. No, I think he retired, didn't he?
He passed away.
He retired, yeah, I did, but he was one that would have been, you know, I would have said to stay, and then I think there's one other one, but most of them haven't been here that long that it. I mean, obviously, I've been in the account a lot of times and gone through a lot of the invoices and talked with some of the people, and I mean, I obviously know a lot of people down here. I wouldn't do this, like, I mean, I see people at Mountain Inn, I see people at, you know, at shop makers. I don't wanna go in and have to have my back to the wall in case somebody comes in, cause I sold them a bad policy. I wouldn't say to anybody that came down here, the accident policy is a no-brainer. If they have an accident policy, especially the sheriff's department, anybody on that should all have our accident policy, because there's a shot, there's a gunshot wound thing on it.
Let me interrupt you on that. We do a lot of, government entities, police, fire, and so forth. Our accident plan has a $5,000 shotgun,
Gunshot.
If you get gunshot, you survive it, because if you die, it doesn't matter. Let's say, I spent 8 years in the Marines, guys, got a really dark sense of humor with that, so I apologize. So, if you survive, you immediately get $5,000. Boom. Okay, plus everything else that goes on with that, and it's gonna be a lot of money for the family. So it's very popular among the guys that carry a badge and guns. Okay, hopefully you guys haven't had any incidences, but you're law enforcement, you know, and, so you get the general idea. This is just an addition that you can put in place. I absolutely know, because I've been doing this for a while, your employees know all this. Because they're gonna take a look at what's one and what's the other, and they're gonna look what the premiums are, and they're gonna be doing happy units. Okay, it's pretty neat. I hope no one ever needs to use it unless they're having kids, because that's a joyous event. We like to take people for having babies. That's really cool. But when stuff happens, and it does, I promise you, we will be there for them. We will pay them very quickly. And we're going to exceed your expectations. It's pretty awesome. So do I have any questions for you guys about it?
Doesn't look like it.
Okay, very good. So if you decide what, go forward, let us know, and we'd be happy to earn your business, and we'd love to have you as a fan. I appreciate your consideration, folks.
And I
Very
didn't
much.
get a name.
Oh, my name is Brad. I'm not important. I'll give you a card with all my stuff.
Okay.
My digits and everything. I think about that with me.
Okay.
Do you guys want my stuff, my info as well? It's just as long as
You
you
can
got
get to the
it.
clerk and it should be fine.
Okay, very good. Thank you, appreciate it, guys.
Thank you.
It was good seeing you again, Dave. I'm still gonna chew Dan up for this.
I would be.
Next up is planes.
Things, I'd like to make a motion to approve pre-authorized claims and open claims presented for payment between January 17th, 2024, February 6th, 2024. Check numbers 153039 to 153229, and e-checks 2290 to 2309 for a grand total of $779,866.67.
Second by Brady. Any discussion? Roll call.
Brumman,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Yax.
Yes.
Okay, here's something I forgot to do way up front. So anyway, we have to add a few items to new business. To the end, there's opioid committee report. There's equalization wage adjustment. And the CAA resolution in regards to recycling. Sorry. Next up, animal shelter services agreement. The
I
sheriff.
believe you all received a copy of that, and it was a draft form. These are the 3 copies that would be necessary if in fact we do move forward. The biggest thing or change is in item 6 on page 2. From the old one that you have, the new one would read not to exceed $12,000 per year for the first 2 years. But I think they, as was indicated by the sheriff in his memorandum to us, they are fulfilling an excellent, needed, truly mandated task that we otherwise would have to address. at a much more costly amount than that. For that reason, I would move that we authorize the chair, that we approve and authorize the chair to sign the agreement for animal shelter services.
Moving to seconded, what is the total duration of the agreement?
What?
The duration?
2 years.
Oh, okay. You said first 2 years, right? Okay.
Long time, has it ever changed from 8,000? How long has it been 8,000?
Very long.
Long time.
Yeah, forever.
I thought they were asking for an increase.
Yeah, from 8 to 12.
From 8 to
12,
12.
yeah.
The one that was in the packet was at 8, you're right, and that confused me as
Yeah.
well.
And that was a
Okay, yeah.
draft, and it was, that part he had not corrected.
I think if we continue discussion, and Sheriff said we're increasing, there's an increased load, we're having more issues, especially in the summertime, of strays and cats and dogs.
In addition to that, not today, but at a later date, the animal control, second thing that was in your packet, he would like to move forward on that, and, but not today. But it is something that needs, that from his perspective, needs to be addressed. And, I would agree with him on that.
I guess the only question I have is how long has it been, you have a
Oh,
long,
what?
heavy, are we talking 20 years?
15 years?
Oh.
15 years?
Plus,
Easily.
probably,
All right.
yeah. I'd have to go back in the minutes or to see that, it's been a long time.
At least 8. I don't
Yeah, I started doing minutes in 17. I think I said in that meeting it was 8.
Any other discussion? There's finance on the, it's out where it's going to come from, where it is, what it is. Unless the. Here's got a couple $100, we'll put that out later. Then we'll do a roll call.
Brady,
Yes.
Yax,
Yes.
Small,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes,
Motion carries. Next up, animal control ordinance.
we covered that.
Okay, we're gonna talk about that at a later date. Next up, Department of Health and Human Services Board Member Letter of Consideration.
Well, since we did the other one, I would move that we received the letter from Ty Damon. We received Mary's at one time.
Yep.
Received that into our records.
All second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
If I may add appreciation to Mary for stepping up. You know, accepting that.
I make a motion that we appoint Mary Weber to the board at the request of the board to fill their vacancy.
I'll support.
Move to seconded. Any discussion? Roll call.
Brumman,
Yes,
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes,
Yax.
Yes.
Motion carries.
thank you.
thank you.
Okay, we received the Mankato Township Master and Recreation Plan. Do they need us to hurry up and approve or do something with that, or does that work like,
You could use the 30 days and let it run, or I would, if you wish, I would be happy to make a motion to tell them we have reviewed and please feel free to move forward.
I'll leave that at the, if you wish to do that, then I'll second. How's that sound?
I would do that.
That you
I would so
represent
move.
them? All right, we have a motion and second to approve the Mankato Township Master Plan and Rec Plan. Any further discussion? Okay, roll call.
Small,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes,
Yax,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes. Thank you.
So we already did no. Northeast Michigan Community Mental Health Authority Board Member appointment. So we just
I
did.
would like to suggest that we,
no,
and,
This is minimal.
apparently, communication did not go out, but we already, from my perspective, have appointed Terry. And,
Expires in March 31st though.
but we
on January.
did it in January of this year, So I think just the communication to them,
Okay.
Is it,
that's.
Mary, what do you think? Do you want us to make a motion?
Is it on the committee assignments?
yes, it is, it is. The only question I have. For some reason, I don't have that, is the other person on the board, was that also, are they just?
Bonnie, Cornelius?
Yes, I would,
She's somebody for the law.
yes, and I
I wouldn't
would,
say that she's expired though.
it says that she isn't, or is that?
It isn't just you, yours term expires March 31st.
I did not see.
Well, okay, in response to the request from Northern Michigan Mental Health, I'll make a motion to affirm Terry's appointment to the board. Or
Support.
move and supported, everybody wants to support everybody. Craig said it first.
Mental health. yeah. Okay.
So, Craig
Community
supported.
mental health. Correction. Community mental. I've been told that many times at a meeting.
Any more discussion? All those in favor? All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
You send them a nice letter.
Oh, you're so welcome.
Next up, opioid committee report.
I provided all of you with some background on that. And, at this time, I also I went ahead and had a meeting with, the sheriff and then a meeting with EMS director. At this time, we're asking you to authorize the use of opioid dollars for 15 units of the Paloxin. It is an 8 milligram dispense, or the other one, the naloxone was a 4 millimeter. It is considered a better dose. It's the accolades for it are, that does not mean that they would never use it for, they might still use it for. But, the sheriff has assured me, well, has assured me, he indicated they would do, normally that type of training is, done by video type of thing, and they'll, do that. Just as they did for the 4 milligrams. So what the opioid committee is asking is that you would approve use of the Paloxidine and, would allow us to use it for that purpose. So,
Who did that? Any more discussion?
Is there a lot of training or not much? It's just.
you know, it's,
Pretty minimal.
yeah, and it's not,
Just an increased dose.
it's a nasal, and so it's not that much different than before.
Yeah, just a double dose for those.
And the sheriff supports this.
Yeah, oh, yes.
And
I
also,
like, both of them, I said, let me know what you want to do. And, now,
Are we gonna convert over to all this? Or
No.
we're still gonna have 4
No, 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 no,
eights?
no. We'll
So
have
8 will be used in that.
as they feel appropriate. There is a fast track approach. One of the concerns that Scott Rice had was that at the time I talked to him, that it was not an approved substance in the med control box or in the medical box, which is controlled by med control, the Alpena Hospital, my Michigan hospital. Since then, I have learned that the state of Michigan is putting this on a fast track for ambulances. And so in the relatively near future, I believe that that will be, through no action of ours, it will be part of their med control drug box.
You have a dollar? I mean, how much? is
Oh,
it?
I'm sorry, yes, $60 a pack, and he had asked me for 15. And yes, we have that much.
Is there any consequences to not being currently in the med pack list?
Pardon?
Is there any consequences to having it not currently on the med box list or whatever?
No, we really can't do anything about that.
No, what I'm saying is there consequences if using that product if it's not approved on that list?
Oh, yes. By med control, by the ambulance, absolutely. But, as I said, there's a whole separate,
Oh, the ambulance can't use it, but the sheriff can.
correct,
I understand.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
so.
until it's approved. Then ambulance services can use it,
Correct,
but the sheriff is allowed to use it with no repercussions.
correct.
Got it. Okay, we got a motion to second, discussion, anything else? We're gonna roll call this one.
Brady,
Yes.
Johnston.
Yeah.
Yax,
Yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Small.
Yes.
thank you, and our OPEB committee, thanks you also. Yes, thank you.
Next item, equalization wage adjustment. We all have, go ahead, Greg.
So I passed out, we talked about it briefly at the last meeting. Came to my attention, and Terry's also, that, had been a wage adjustment in another office where the department head was not available any longer. Equalization has a similar situation that started with the departure of the director. That employee has asked that they be received $1.32 more per hour for that position for the rest of the time period until end this year. Then we'll look at it going forward. We have in there, it's still different from the other MOU. That this would only stay in effect as long as there was not an on-site director. If we do, for whatever reason, terminate contract and hire a director, then this would go away. It reverts back to their normal wage. So this is a sample MOU, hasn't been approved by the union yet, but we wanted to get it done here before we move on up the ladder, so.
As soon as it's approved by the union, I'll be having that motion.
Are you making a motion?
I will,
Or did you, oh, I'm sorry.
I'll second.
I'll make it.
Who just seconded? More discussion?
Do we not want to wait until another few months? I'm not doubting that they're not going to.
So all we're doing is we're gonna present it to them. If they decline, which I can't see how they would.
I don't perceive that.
So it's a lot like what we did with EMS, you know, they weren't asking for more money. We said, we'd like to offer more in order to retain. So I'm kind of doing it under that kind of thinking, it's kind of a preemptive.
So your motion states upon approval of the union.
Yes.
Yeah.
Making the proposal to the union for, I don't want to.
Any other discussion? Okay, we'll do a roll call.
Yax,
Yes.
Brady,
Second, yes.
Brumman,
Yes,
Small,
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes. Thank you. I will email you. There and I'll be paid.
Next. We have a resolution, in regards to, the recycling initiative that has been forced by the state of Michigan. A resolution of a County Board of Commissioners assuming responsibilities from the county approval agency CAA. What this means is that instead of EGLE coming in and running the show for us, we're in charge of our own management. This is step one of a long process.
I need to move adoption of the resolution number 24-4.
I'll support it.
Who supported? Any discussion?
Well, this is just more of a formality that we're gonna take this upon us ourselves instead of having you install.
Okay. Anybody else?
And then okay by the prosecutor.
Prosecutor is reviewed and
Yes.
approved, okay? Anything else? Then we will do a roll call.
Small,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Yax,
Yes.
Brumman.
Yes,
Finance report, really, we haven't met since last meeting, so we continue to, work on, cleaning up last year numbers and there are a few things to add to our agenda for the next finance meeting, but other than that, really nothing to report, so moving on to personnel.
Okay, I have.
And just that couple ongoing things that we're still have with contracts.
So do you want to address the building department thing?
Going forward right now? Yeah.
Go ahead. So Terry and I, finance had asked us to take a look at personnel, talk to a few people over there and recognize that there was probably a need for some guidance. So we would, I wouldn't necessarily say it's a motion, but we concur that perhaps hiring a part-time department head would be a appropriate action there. We have a person now, we just did an MOU because we have a union person acting in a management role. We don't have management there officially, so as we looked at it, see there's probably be benefits from that happening. So it's not a motion, I don't know what you'd call it, you asked us to look at it, so we asked some questions and saw the need. There's policies that need to be updated, there's things that need to happen, and those employees, or the employee that's there now is pretty much fully handled, or fully taking care of the operation of the office, let alone going into all the other things.
Could you supply us with the job description? This is what it would look like.
Yeah, I think, the building department liaison is gonna do that for me.
It would be a part-time job, no benefits, up to 28 hours per week.
But we need an
What's
official
the
job
list of
description.
Yeah, what their duties
job
would be,
duties?
so we'll,
Yeah.
I'll work with Dave, and
Okay.
we'll produce that, and then, maybe by the next meeting, we'll be able to put it out for posting.
Or the next meeting?
Okay, the treasurer is not present. So moving on to the clerk.
For Monday. Oh. Okay, you want to do that? Election Source was here yesterday to perform the public accuracy test for the county with all 12 townships onto one tabulator and one ATI touchscreen. So they got here at about 8 o'clock in the morning, and the public accuracy test was at 4, and everything went good. So the holding all those townships on one, and there was a lot of ballot styles tests, and everything went really good. The machines are performing and doing exactly what they're supposed to do. So that was good. I am setting up a small training, 3 different days next week, just in small groups. For if anyone were needed, the large training will still be, in usually late June, early July. And that's the big training where everyone's getting ready to expire after 2 years. And so, that'll be down the road. I'm waiting for a large supply order for everyone's precinct kit. I think most of their public accuracy tests, I want to say, are next week. The 14th, 15th, and 16th. They usually do it over a 2-day span, but for some reason this one's 3 days. And that was published in the paper for each individual township as well. What else did we have going on? I guess I just wanted to make a comment or a suggestion with in regard to the Colonial Life presentation, that a large number of people, when the county goes, okay, we'll offer to oversee this through, your payroll, but it's an elective if you want Aflac. And when everyone signed onto that, and I was one at the time, it was, we were like grandfathered in at this super low rate. And in fact, I just glanced at the bill, roughly 7 of those individuals still on that plan. So about half. I don't know what your decision would be as a board, but I would talk to those that have Aflac to see if this is something that they would be interested in, because it's you as the board that will say, okay, if they all want to switch, we'll approve doing away with Aflac and taking on the Colonial Life. But if the people aren't interested in it, I don't see what it's a lot of work to do with transition when we just switched dental and all of our health insurance and still just kind of ironing out whatever wrinkles and getting everyone's cards corrected. So that would just be my suggestion.
So operating both plans side by side is a
I would not recommend
Excited
that.
about that?
I would not recommend that, no. One or the other.
I don't know, that's what,
That's what I mean. I would speak to,
So what are the issues with the billing?
back in the day, when, Dave was still with Aflac, it was, you can't get through to anybody. You cannot. So he was trying, but it took 6 months. I don't want to go into too much detail. It took 6 months to get one person's bill figured out. You know, do you have it? Don't you have it? They're paying for it. So they had to retro it back 6 months. That's how long it took to fix one person. Since then, the representative that we're working with now, he handles all of that for us. It's like pulling teeth to get, I thought, how does anybody ever get any claims from them? But, you know, the individual goes to them, that's something we don't see. And, you know, they don't seem to have a problem getting through to the claims. It was like Lawson, our representatives that set us up, went to the other side of the state and they were wonderful. And then things just kind of got left behind and Dave walked in and it was kind of just all over the place, so.
So you looked at it, would it be worthwhile to present it? Or not, the employee?
Who pursued this
That
sales pitch in the first place? They just wanted to do it.
they requested,
Okay.
so, yeah,
And we weren't actually searching.
no. Yeah,
You get to listen to it every day, I kind of defer to you and see what you think.
That's my opinion too. If you had said, you know, it's worth it for us to go with these guys, that's why they're presenting, then I'd, okay, well, it sounds like.
Yeah, I guess it's gonna be up to you.
they requested to present and I can't deny, so, I mean.
If somebody wanted to go with them, and not.
Well, I wasn't saying you did it wrong, I'm just saying.
Right, yeah, no, we were not pursuing it, no, the clerk's office was not.
If one of our employees want to go with them. And we would not handle the paperwork, they could go independently to that, right?
Outside of this and
Yeah.
us deducting from their pay, that's why we're involved with the Aflac is because the
Right.
deductions go through us in the enrollment process,
But if somebody wanted to go with them, they could, but it would be an independent thing
correct.
out of our, not out of our. payment.
They should seek that out on their own, if it's not worthwhile.
We didn't ask that, I wonder if there's a different pricing structure involved in the group or.
For a small or a large group, we're
Yeah.
so small, I can't imagine, it's typically I don't know, typically it seems to run around 50 or more employees. We're way below that. As far as what's enrolled right now. But I know, different era, younger group, they presented, I'll leave it up to you. I was just putting in my 2 cents.
All right, well, that's good, so I was wondering. If, yeah, all right. Communications are in your package, pros, it's your leader, and do with what you will. Dan, is there something that we need to vote on today?
There is. A resolution. And I confused Stephanie. She thought I was gonna do that Monday.
I thought it was for Monday, so I did not.
Oh.
But I need it.
Okay, so we need to do so the Monday meeting, the special Monday meeting is in regards to the public hearing for this grant. which
Correct.
We need to make the resolution for today.
Correct. So we.
So moved. I would second.
That was good.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Resolution is,
Roll call.
roll call.
Yax,
Yes.
Johnston.
Yeah.
Drummond,
Yes.
Brady,
Yes,
Small,
Yes,
and I'm sorry, who was the second?
me.
So we approved it.
1 o'clock or 1 p.m.
We do that. Huh? How do you approve the resolution before the public hearing?
Because the resolution is allowing you to apply for the grant that the public hearing is for.
Oh, okay.
You have to do them.
So what if we went to the public hearing and they said, no, we don't want. It was a-
You don't have to
Doesn't matter,
listen to
really.
anybody. Yes, you can listen to the public, but you do what you want.
Doesn't
Yeah.
matter anyway. yeah?
Yeah, right.
So it's a public hearing just for.
Comments. Yeah. Yeah.
Change our mind. Or you could rescind your resolution.
For the,
Maybe.
housing.
Is This seems backwards to me.
Which I have to
Why
add,
not?
which I have to add has nothing to do with, the Target Alpena stuff, just FYI.
Yeah.
Please don't confuse it with any of that.
I do have a question though for Alpena County. Do you guys have a community development plan, action plan, like a 5-year community development plan?
No, but I don't know, we'll have to talk about that for sure afterwards. I
Most
don't-
grants are requesting that now.
I'm not sure what we have, we'll have to
I think
definitely
the
talk
only
about
thing
it.
I found was a recreational plan that you guys did way back.
Well, yeah, I don't have a.
Typically, it's something that would probably be done by a county planning commission, and we don't have county planning here.
Oh.
So, we don't have county zoning or that kind of thing, so
Wow.
typically counties with county zoning have county planning commission. We don't have county zoning, we have township zoning.
Right,
Yeah, aren't you required though, when we apply for grants, aren't you required to have a plan, a 5-year plan in place? Even if you have to hire a commission to make the plan?
Dan, I'm not sure, we'll have to,
Look that out real quick,
Yep.
because that's one of their,
I have to assume that we should be okay in that respect, so, but we can
Okay.
definitely find out, what's going.
okay,
Is that something like NEMCOG does?
I wish I
Yeah.
had encyclopedic knowledge of every single thing that happens in this building, I absolutely do not.
okay.
Yes.
That being said, committee reports.
I don't
Dave?
I attended a Northern Michigan Association of Counties meeting where we had we had a couple legislators and our so-called lobbyists. And just gave us some update on things what are happening at the state. Right now, there's nothing is gonna be passed because the House is at 54-54, so they're tied. There's a special election in April, where the two, House reps became mayors last fall. They assume that they will both be Democrats, and after they're elected, then there will be a lot of laws going through the House and Senate. But, there are a couple things going on, obviously. There's a group out called Axe My Tax. They are trying to get, signatures to put on the ballot to get rid of all property tax. And they're trying to say that they have, the funding sources would be marijuana tax and a cigarette tax, but in reality, it will be devastating. They assume that if it gets on the ballot, it will probably pass because no one wants to pay property tax. And if they're gonna say, well, it looks like they have an alternate funding, so yeah, I don't wanna pay tax. So that is, they said they're concerning, so going forward. I know I talked with the equalization department and they've heard about it.
Devastating.
Yes, devastating. They have, talked a little bit about, solar that they passed last year. Actually, last year we lost more rights as a citizen, especially in rural Michigan. Because they passed the wind and solar tax or legislation. They need 220,000 acres for the state of Michigan is what their plan is. So that is about a mile wide from Mackinac Bridge to Ohio line. That's 220,000 acres. And it's gonna go through some of the some of the really good, crop growing land. And once they do this, so a 40-acre solar farm takes about 250,000 ton of aggregate. That they put down. So if 10 years from now they find out solar isn't the answer and they tear it all down, it'll never go back to farming because they have all this gravel put in there. So they are putting together a group called Citizens for Local Choice. And they are trying to get signatures to get this on the ballot this fall. And they're looking for volunteers to be county captains. So if anybody's interested in looking at that, it's called Citizens for Local Choice. Just so we get some rights back, what we want to decide. The septic code legislation, it didn't get passed last year, but they definitely want it. They are adding now, they want to add a plumbing inspection along with that. Because they think people are running the water from their washing machines, not through their septic tank. So now they are recommending that they do a plumbing inspection along with your septic tank legislation every 5 years. And it would be $1,000 fee. One of the big things we've talked about is they're gonna come up with some money for low income people that can't afford it. But the problem is right now, your septic has to be 2 feet above the water table. With this loan program, it has to be 4 feet. So if have a failing septic system, it's $10,000 to $15,000 cost, but with the 4 feet minimum, it would probably have to have a lift station, so now you're at 20 to 25,000. So they're working on it, they're trying to get some little cooler heads. Right now they have it and they have votes and they're not really working with anyone. So that's what Michigan Association of Counties is trying to get something going. We're working on that. And then I said they have right now there's $3.9 billion funding deficit in roads. And that's this year they're trying to decide how they're going to go about getting funding for that, especially since electric vehicles are becoming a little more common. They're looking at a lot of different things from toll roads to charging you per mile driven. So that's on their agenda for this year too. So with that, there was not a lot of good news coming.
That's good. Happy report, Dave.
Yeah.
I'll say it. Well, I have nothing. What do you got?
I have nothing.
Fairly.
ACCOA approved their budget, saying we approved the budget for the millage money. Their budget for millage plus other sources that they get revenue from. They are also attempting to pay off the balance of a loan that was taken out a few years ago for $150,000. The entity that has that loan, the SBA, will not speak to our people because it is in Lenny Avery's name. We have not gotten for over a year a monthly statement from them because it will not come to ACCOA because the loan is not in ACCOA's name per se. The only way they will do it is by the executive director supplying her social security number and her driver's license number. And everyone she has talked to, the banks, the credit union, etc., says, do not give up your social number. Whatever you do, don't give that up.
Quit being the bill.
I
They'll talk to somebody.
It's
I am,
somebody else's name.
Yeah.
I am in, they won't even tell us what the balance due is.
Sounds like a pretty
And-
good case to
They
cancel the.
they chose to not pay on it for the first 18 months, except for the interest. And it's a 30-year loan. So we have the money to pay it off, or they have the money to pay off, and they want to, they're trying, but I have, Congressman Bergman's office working on it.
What was the money for? Is there any?
Well, that's also a little, they were going to buy a vehicle with it. It's a really nice
One
vehicle
vehicle?
for $150,000. But,
A van that can call.
you know,
Sorry,
moving forward, and of course, each month it's costing us money because of the interest due on it. But, they'll let us send them. They just won't tell us how much we owe and they won't allow us to pay it off. Yeah, because it's not in our name. But other things are like this also, so it's just one more thing. 911 Authority, they're looking to, do a new phone system. They do have 3 bids. The one they're looking at will be in the $130,000 ballpark in the first year. They're also looking at new GIS mapping. The current paper map has in excess of 2,000 errors on it. And that's a little tough when you're sending a squad car or an ambulance out to an address. Action on that, I thank you for that. You did, thank you for that. Approved 2020 budget. They are currently advertising for a realtor to sell a part of the piece of property they bought a year and a half ago on the north end of Cedar Lake. It is technically on Cedar Lake Road. It encompasses both sides of Cedar Lake Road, but they are going to be selling a part of that and go for we're still waiting for the state to determine the dollar amount of money for our phase 41 for local emergency food and shelter. We expect it to be in the $7,000 ballpark, but we still don't have that. And other than that, I've just been sitting around.
I believe it. Thanks. What's the, I mean, I know technology is wonderful. Didn't we just buy a 911 telephone system a few years ago?
Years ago, we did.
Like 5 already.
It's already obsolete.
Yeah, it was like 100,000 then, I remember. Yeah, the company.
Just be glad they've been frugal over the years.
Yeah.
Jeff was very frugal.
Yeah. Remember we did that whole, which Raptor had a really cool name. Raptor, some kind of cool telephone system name.
Now we're to our last section of public comment, 5 minutes. Anybody? Yes.
Mary Weber, from Katy Township. I was the director of the Alcona Humane Society in 2005, I think it was. And I think you guys were giving 8,000 then, and it wasn't enough then. So, good decision on.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
I just wanted to touch on what we talked about earlier. This one went to Tony and was approved. He just made a slight change in the MOU.
Okay.
If you want to see it, or I don't know if I can come up there.
Purchases and presents it.
Sure, yeah, okay.
What was the change?
Just where it just said the office management. He just took that out and just put due to shortages within the department, this position is required to perform the job duties.
Okay,
And took office management out of it.
so I'll pass
Everything
that
else.
around if you might want to change your.
State, and it has to, he did say that in order for it to go to Amy, it has to be signed by you guys before it can go to Amy to, and then to him, so.
So you have your copy in front of you? Said this position has absorbed many of the former director's responsibilities. The new language says due to shortages within the department, this position is required to perform more duties.
Has that not been,
Instead of what's written there now, I don't know. what it
okay,
is.
but through the recommendation of personnel, it was not for a shortage of people. The choice was to only have 2 people. This, if that wording has the implication, we're gonna go ahead and hire a 3rd person.
Due to shortages within, what do we have here? Position absorbed. Yeah, kind of seems like it to me. I don't know. Why did he want this language?
He just didn't want it to say office management on it.
Oh, so no management,
Right,
because you're not
Right.
management.
Correct.
You're still union.
right.
Yeah, that makes sense. I understand that. Due to,
Could we see a copy of that, please? I'm sorry.
this is the one.
I believe we need to leave it as it is.
Leave management in there. I mean, we got that one approved, so.
That's the one we approved. I think it needs to stick because we have it. the way it is. On personnel recommendation. So it's not a shortage, it's the choice of the board to have it as it is.
I'm okay with that. Right.
Well, present it as voted, and then vote, okay, if they want to counter it. that is
But
what it
that,
is.
as
Yeah, they
guidance from the union guy was that.
Yeah,
we
well,
will,
it was to get signed by you guys and then go to the
Present it.
union, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sounds like it's gonna go back to the person.
Anything else? Public comment. We're still in public comment, right? Yeah, public comment. I don't think Bob is supposed to give it a.
I think he was silenced, wasn't he?
I muted it, he had some background noise going, so I muted it, but you can read.
I have nothing more I have nothing more to say. Thank you, though.
All right, then let's adjourn this meeting then until,
No, we got one more. Commissioner's additional comment.
oh, I'm sorry. You have additional comments?
I haven't got, well, I just want, so Steph kind of touched on it, just so this board's aware. She's doing a lot of extra work and there's a lot of stuff going into this election. Terry stepped in there as we were talking. And, you know, I'm not gonna throw any stones at the townships or the units, but, the county's gonna do a lot here to make it easy for them. And she's gonna do a lot of her own personal time to make this work for them. So I think I just felt like she needed that.
Is there any
Recognition.
compensation coming from the townships to do all this?
For
Yeah.
Trina, there will be, it's within the agreement.
Pardon?
For Trina, there will be, yes,
Compensation
for her,
additional.
right, because we're the acting administrators. So that if one of us can't be, if I can't be here, somebody else has to be. And so, because I'm elected, though I absorb those as part of my position. But hers isn't, she's a salaried employee that's appointed. And so her hours, in addition to, of all the weekend hours, will be at her regular wage rate. And then it will be dispersed evenly between the 12 counties. And any other minimal fees that may be incurred, but it's
So you're happy
affordable.
with it, right?
It's affordable to the town.
Oh, it's very important.
It's affordable to the townships. Otherwise, they'd be absorbing the 9 days themselves for each township for a minimum of 3 workers, preferably 4. But,
And they're not that we're asking for anything, I'm not asking this, but, so the building, heat, power, everything, they're under rent building. So the only thing they're really gonna get charged for is labor. And, they're really not even getting charged for the clerk's labor at this time. I told her she needs to.
there could be in the future elections, additional compensation for those, this is well above and beyond normal,
So,
statutory duties, I would say.
Repercussions are exponential because there's grumbling among township clerks that they don't want to do the job anymore. If it's gonna be this
Right.
much,
Absolutely.
I've heard that.
Absolutely.
Proposition 2. And that's the problem that we're having is as they go through like this axe to tax, I mean, if it gets on the ballot, they said, people are gonna go, I don't wanna pay tax, that's great. Problem is how, there's nothing to fund schools, counties, townships.
These sales taxes from what we talked about, you're looking at about a 14% sales tax. So if you
Increase.
can eat cheap and live cheap, you will be okay. Yeah.
I'd just like to say thank you to Steph, her personal experience with what she has had handling and doing with this election. And definitely she's stepped up and done more than she's done.
Thank you.
Very big personal thank you from you.
If you want me to take on to it, from your experience, she got 12 times more.
Oh, I am.
Right.
Everybody else, additional comments?
Just one. Speaking for the Alcona County Review, that we'd love to write articles about state legislature, things that are coming up, things like that. But we are a county newspaper, small staff, small advertising, limited. I encourage everyone to write their legislation. Write newspaper editors, write whoever you can write to to get the word out, so people will write, will contact their state representatives, will do what they need to do.
All right, Robert rules be damned, where are we at now?
Adjourn.
Well, it's adjourned, thank you. Till February 12th, 2024.
Till, well,
Oh, that's special.
Supposed to be February 12th.
I did send everyone that special meeting notice also.
Next one, then we'll be on the
No.
We may.
What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do to that election?
Yeah, what are you,
Are we-
are we going to a different?
I thought you guys talked about just moving, we can put a sign right here that the commissioners are meeting and then wherever you're gonna meet. The courtroom, Terry said he remembered 20-some years ago meeting in the courtroom, or the jury room, or courtroom B.
We'll go on Craig Barnes.
About the Bahamas.
And.
No, the new one down here.
Oh, yeah, the new.
Oh, I'm still here.
Oh,
We can't have
You can zoom in.
I don't think I can take that.
Place in Marco.
Sam came to last, he says,